ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः. So 41, verse number 41. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्. So Bhagavan is telling Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi Eka. Bhagavan is clearly showing the difference between the goals, so-called goals of the human being. In the eye of Shastra, there is only one goal, and that is moksha. So that is Vyavasayatmika means a clarity. Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi. There is well ascertained understanding. Buddhihi means understanding, knowledge. Knowledge regarding means and end, both. So Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi means there is well ascertained understanding regarding Iha. Iha means moksha vishaya. Means with regards to this moksha, well, hey Kurunandana, hey Arjuna, there is a well ascertained understanding regarding this moksha. And Bahushakha Hyanantasya Buddhayaha Avyavasayinam Buddhayaha Bahushakha Anantasya Bhavanti. We have to say like this, Avyavasayinam. So if you don't have the clarity regarding the goal, regarding the end, then definitely you will not have clarity regarding the means also. In that case, if you don't have clarity regarding means and ends, it's called Avyavasayinam Buddhayaha. All notions there. That there is only one goal and the means also is clear. Moksha is a goal and knowledge is a means. That's all. If this clarity is there, it's called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. If it is not there, then Avyavasayinam Buddhaya. Then the notions regarding the ends and the means, both, will be a lot. Lot means Anantasya. I mean many in number. Bahushakaha and numerous. We'll see that. So this has been told like this, and we have seen, of course, that the goal is only one. somebody. So moksha. So I have on Saturday we have decided, we have done it. There is no between artha and kama, artha and moksha. There is moksha only is a goal. Artha means a security. Gaining security, nobody is interested. If securities means we'll see. This is the wealth and the relationship and the house and this. Well, so gaining securities are gaining crutches. I become more and more dependent upon. Crutch is something which you depend upon. No one likes dependence. That's my nature, that I always want to be independent. If I like independence, independence must be my nature. What I like must be my nature. What I don't like will not be my nature. May not be. Will not be my nature. That's how I want to discard it. Anyway, what I am saying is basically between moksha, artha and moksha. Moksha is a goal. I want a freedom from insecurity. I don't want, I am not interested in gaining security. So artha is not a goal. Gaining security means artha. And so I am not interested in that. Anyway, so and that is how even we keep on gain in terms of suppose security is a goal of life. We keep on gaining whole of life. Even in relationship also we are trying to do arrangement in such a way. We manipulate even relationship too, in order that I can feel little secure. Anyway, what I am saying is we don't know that actually basically I want really a freedom from insecurity. Since I cannot stand on my legs, I feel insecure while standing on my legs. I really want crutches in terms of securities. And if I really become free from the insecurity, in that case I don't want any security. And that is how so-called even sources of security also, well, we discard also when we really feel secure, independent, freedom. Well, anyway, so this is between artha and moksha. I have shown you clearly that moksha is a goal. Really, I am seeking freedom from insecurity. Same way, between kama and moksha also, really you are interested in moksha. Basically, kama means gaining happiness, sources of happiness, gaining objects of happiness. Basically, I am, I am unhappy self, not happy. I am not unhappy self, but I am not happy self because of the sense of limitation. Yes, this sense of limitation, is all the time, keeps us, all the time makes us uneasy. So, and when it surfaces, in my awareness, the limitations are there regarding the centered on the self, or somebody shows the limitations, well, then definitely I become very unhappy. Anyway, that shows very clearly that limitation will not be my nature, because I don't like limitation centered on self. Therefore, limitation must not be my nature. Self is not limited, self must be limitless. That is, we can definitely ascertain that way. But let's talk about, between kama and moksha. Moksha is definitely, I am not interested in seeking happiness in objects, and there is no happiness also. We have seen all this. Basically, I want to be free from the sense of, I want to become free from not happy self. And that I become also. Need not be I gain object of happiness and then I become free from not happy self. In some moments, as such, without any, if you don't even fulfill the desire of gaining objects of happiness, still you become happy. By looking at the nature, one becomes happy. By looking at the child, one becomes happy. There are so many ways, so many situations we have seen. Somebody cracks a joke and you become happy. So that shows that I need not even seek the objects of happiness, still I can become happy. And in those moments, that the limitation centered on the self just resolves. Time being, it resolves. So basically, I am interested in freedom from not happy self. I am interested in that, and therefore there also I seek a freedom only, and that is moksha. So I am not interested in gaining objects of happiness, but since I feel this, I'm all the time have a sense that I am not happy self, so I seek happiness in different objects. So between kama and moksha also, one is really interested in moksha. And then we discussed also with regards to dharma also, that between dharma and moksha also, well, of course, one is interested in moksha, because dharma basically either punya, then definitely it is artha kama only. This punya is a earning for future objects of happiness and future objects of so-called security and happiness. So that kind of punya, of course, is it is nothing but a modified version of artha kama only, and that we acquire. Like we have, we earn right now, even though we have plenty, but still we earn because of a certain future requirement, keeping in the future requirement. Same way, our dharma also, punya karma people do so that they will have a better life in next janma, etc., or in different loka, etc. And dharma means even growth. Well, even if you really grow, but still the sense of, centered on a self, the sense of that mortality, it will not go. It will not go. And therefore, even though I am a dharmika, I am an ethical person, but I am mortal. That will remain. And so far the mortality, etc., I am subject to death will remain. Insecurity is going to be there. And of course, the seeking happiness also will be there, because there's limitations all the time. One is, one feels the limitation center on the self, and therefore even seeking happiness also will be there. Yeah, you seek in an ethical way. That's all it means. You seek in an ethical way. That's all. Like our Arjuna, he acquired. He became a mumukshu here in the battlefield. Otherwise, he is not. He lives an ethical life, but he wanted personal glories. So many glories. In fact, he acquired all this so that he will have a personal glories, artha kama. So, a person is ethical does not mean he gives up artha kama. In fact, you fulfill artha kama through dharma. That's all it means. And therefore, basically, the person who is even a dharmika, so-called, we have shown that it's an independent purushartha in human life. I'm observing, live a life based on universal values, etc., moral values, and your choice is based on universal values, etc. I'm conforming to dharma, etc. And definitely it will make you grow from ragadvesha. That's correct. But still, this thing will not go. The fear of death will not go, and even seeking pleasure also will not go. So definitely this will remain. And therefore between dharma and moksha also, the sense of imperfection, sense of mortality, still it remains. And moksha is freedom from the limitation, freedom from this imperfection. And basically between dharma and moksha also, moksha is the purushartha. So there is only one purushartha that is sought after by all. Not that the person who is seeking right now, who is doing this kind of a discrimination between the purushartha. Not that. Everyone is seeking basically moksha. Everyone is seeking freedom. So far as I am free in terms of insecurity, in terms of unhappiness, etc., well, then I will not have the goals of artha kama, etc. So because there is no viveka regarding purusharthas, we keep on seeking different goals, but actually everybody is seeking a moksha. And so this is how we have to know. And so this will bring to vyavasayatmika buddhi. This will bring a clarity regarding the end now, regarding the purushartha, regarding the goal. That human being is only interested in one goal, or I am interested in one goal, that is freedom. So the fallacy in this conclusion that I am insecure is not discerned properly, and that I am really seeking a freedom from insecurity is not discerned properly, and therefore I seek security. I am seeking freedom from being unhappy is also not discerned, and therefore I seek all happy self. Well, and for that sake I manipulate the world. Somebody manipulates one's own mind, and still, but anyway, one wants a freedom from being unhappy, from being not happy self. So this is how, and well, And this is how people all they are both trying to become. These people who are seeking different artha kama etc., they are in a process of becoming, because they don't have sources, objects of security, objects of happiness, they don't have, and therefore they have to acquire. So they are in a process of all the time becoming. So, and well, in the process of becoming itself, it will put you on a tree. All the time this will go on. So it shows that there is a lack of discrimination. And basically, then what is, there are two things now. Either you become or either you be. So this is now a big thing. If you keep on becoming, you will keep on becoming. And that will be always a limitation. And that continues. Instead, what is, one has to discern. What I want is basically, is to be free from all crutches. And so by process of change, you are not going to become the happy person, the secure person, the limitless person. So the limited person cannot become limited. This is how we have to discern. The limited person cannot become limitless by a process of change, by process of becoming. What is limited will continue to be limited. A limited person becomes a limited person. A limited person cannot become limitless person, even by so much of addition. That's what our life is. No one has to ask to anybody else. Our own life, if we analyze, we will find this. Till today, we have become so much. At the age of 25, we started our career and everything, or even before, in terms of even gaining knowledge, etc., in university, etc. There also at that time we were having, I want to become that, I want to become that, I want to become that, I want to become that. And every after becoming, I will be perfect person. This thing will happen in my life, I will be perfect. That day has never come till today. That day has never come. So anyway, so the limited person cannot become limitless by a process of change or becoming. What is limited will continue to be limited, no matter how many changes you brought in. And so Puja Swami used to tell you before 2-3 days only, he was telling like this. So you can embellish a broomstick with any amount of ornamentation, but still it remains a broomstick only. And therefore, basically, so to solve the problem, is to understand that the process of becoming itself is anityam. Definitely, anything that becomes will be in the boundary of, right? Becoming means what? In future, what I am right now is not okay. I will become this is in future. Means again it will be a time bound. In future, in a given place, in a given time, or under given conditions that I will become. So that is going to be a limited thing. It is anityam, and anything that becomes is subject to becoming. The new condition is also subject to become something else. The old status is gone and the new status is gained. And then, only to go again and again. That is what our life is. So it is replaced by a new status, and then again it is replaced by a new status, old status gone. And definitely, so no matter what you do, this is samsara. This is a description of samsara. When you choose any other goal, so-called goals now, artha, kama, dharma, etc., it is samsara. Because definitely you are in a process of becoming. That's all. And therefore, artha means different objects of security you are seeking in your life. At that moment, you are definitely sure that I don't have it and I have to acquire them. Objects of happiness also, you feel that these objects I don't have, objects of happiness, and I have to acquire them. So definitely you are interested only in your new status, which is again a time bound, place bound, and condition bound. So basically this will continue. So no matter what you do, you are not going to accomplish what you want to be. You want basically freedom from limitations, freedom from insecurity, freedom from not happy self, etc. So if there is really a solution, it should not be within the sphere of becoming. Then how will I solve the problem? If it will not be in this, the solution will not be in the sphere of becoming, then if we want to solve this problem without becoming, then we have to solve the problem. Well, it means the solution should be you, definitely. Because if it is the process of becoming is not involved, then what I am right now must be okay, must be free from any insecurity, free from any unhappiness, freedom from any limitations. That must be by nature. So basically, since I am seeking a freedom from insecurity, definitely insecurity, etc., is not centered on the self. That is how it is. Because I want to become secure at all the places. This is how the nature is decided. See, if you want to become secure at all the time, all the places, under all the conditions, that must be your nature. So you are seeking security basically at all places, all the time, under all conditions. Then that security must be your nature. Nature is something which will be there at all the time, at all the places, and under all conditions. Like sweetness of a sugar. Sweetness of the sugar is all the time there, at all the places it is there, and under all conditions it will be there. And that is how, if I am seeking security like this, or seeking freedom from insecurity at all the time, all the places, under all conditions, then definitely that security must be my nature. Security means basically timelessness must be my nature. We have seen, of course, this timelessness is a nature of Atma, but I am just reminding here that that must be my nature. And freedom from happiness also, unhappiness also, basically, if I am seeking at all the time. When you want to be happy, if I ask you, you will say no, today, tomorrow, then you will say definitely, I want to be happy at all the time, all the places, under all conditions. Here and in the home, outside the home, everywhere you want to be happy. That must be your nature. That must be your nature. Because you are seeking your nature. How can I seek my nature? If I am happy, then I am happiness, how can I seek? That's what the problem is. That is what the problem is. Basically, a self-ignorance, etc. is there. And therefore, anyway, so if you have to solve the problem of this insecurity, etc., without becoming, then it means the solution should be you. Because right now what you are, you cannot tell me I am not right now secure, I am not all well, etc. right now, and I want to become, then definitely the process of becoming will involve. So if process of becoming should not be involved, then right now itself, well, that the solution which you are seeking in your life is you are the solution. You are the problem, you are the solution. That is how it should be. So this is called Nityam. Nityam. Process of becoming is always anityam because time bound, place bound or condition bound, and then that is all anityam. And I am seeking something nityam. I am seeking something permanent in terms of security, in terms of a happiness, and well, then definitely it must be my own nature. And therefore, and as such also it is a question. It's a matter of a common sense. If anything which is limitless in time, limitless in place, limitless in terms of situation, then it should be right now here, right? Limitless in time means what? Limitless in time means what? It will be in future, or it is right now also there. And therefore, limitlessness all indicates that it is right now there. Limitlessness in terms of place means at this place it is there. And limitless in terms of even object wise also, then it should cover me. If it doesn't cover me, then how can it be limitless? It is a common sense. Anyway, so limitless itself indicates, well, it should cover me. It should be right now there. It should be at this time, it should be there. Then definitely it's your nature. You are limitless, but you don't know. Well, that's a different issue. And therefore, you are limitless means you are basically free from any insecurity, free from any unhappiness, etc. That's your nature, but you may not be knowing. And then you should know that you are basically free. And this limitlessness is experienced by you also. Yeah, you are limitless is experienced by you. Then otherwise you will not accept. but it is your nature, and that is in moments of joy and even in the deep sleep, etc. There is no boundary. You are there, but without boundary. And that's so you experience that limitless. Any moment of joy, and it indicates you have no limitations so far. So this is how, basically it is anitya nitya vastu, viveka. Discrimination in terms of purushartha is this only. So the artha, kama, dharma, etc., whatever they bring to you is anitya. Because it involves even the process of becoming also. And of course, through a person has basically not known that I am seeking something nitya vastu, that nitya vastu is Brahman or Atma, that will be through the Shastra only. One can never know like that. But this much we can understand, that I am seeking something permanent solution. And any permanent solution cannot be brought out by process of becoming. Process of becoming can never bring that. So all that we seek locally, in terms of artha, kama and dharma, etc., is all non-eternal. Non-eternal. Anitya means non-eternal. Not only in terms of time, but in terms of degree, in terms of quality, in terms of capacity to make you happy and secure. Every way, everything is found wanting. And therefore, it cannot, you will not, your heart will not be satisfied even if you get it. And that's what is happening. Till today, we have got so many so-called objects of security, so-called objects of happiness, but our heart is still wanting. And therefore, because anything that you seek, which is within time, is going to be non-eternal. And what we are really seeking is freedom from this seeking itself. And that is called moksha. I want to get rid of this very seeking. That is a moksha purushartha. And therefore, really speaking, there is no artha, kama, dharma, etc. or purushartha. If I have to become free from this very seeking, then definitely I am seeking something eternal thing. All this is non-eternal, and that's eternal thing is called Brahman in Shastra, and that is one's own nature. And so, even a small aspect we can see in this artha, kama, dharma, etc. is gained through karma also only. And so if you have to gain something that is eternal, then it cannot be produced of action. So we'll have to see that way. If I am seeking eternal, but then I seek the eternal thing, eternal vastu through artha, kama, dharma, then definitely for this sake I have to employ the means called action. And it produces karma phala. That karma phala can never be eternal. Karma phala can never be nityam. Because karma itself is finite and it is done in time. Any action, including prayer, is done in time, and it is finite. If it is finite, then in that you cannot seek a freedom from becoming. And therefore, if you employ the means called karma, because end is clear, moksha, but then the means also should be clear. That I require only knowledge for moksha. That is very important. And therefore, the clarity of and clarity of means, both should be there. Then only it becomes a vyavasayatmika buddhi. So, action definitely produces karma phala, which is anityam, and that is how if I employ action, and through that I get a karma phala, I never get a nitya vastu. Karma phala itself is very anityam, and therefore I cannot become free from this process of becoming. And that is what till today we have employed. Till today we have employed the means of karma in order to become secure, in order to become happy. And we know for sure in our own life that it has not worked. Because any karma phala is basically anything. It comes in time, goes in time, and in terms of place, in terms of situation, it is very, very finite. And I am seeking something nitya vastu, and therefore karma also cannot help. in order to gain moksha or a nitya vastu. So the becoming process is very anityam, and you cannot free yourself from this process of becoming called samsara by gaining a particular result, etc. Because it will be lost naturally. So falgutaya liyate iti phalam. We always say like that. Falgutaya liyate. It will perish like the fruit, etc. Just it perish. Same way this is also karma phala. Phalam. It's a fruit. Fruit of the action. It will also perish. And again then you have to become. So if that perish, again you employ new means for gaining security and happiness. And then again you have to become. So you say, no, I am not secure. I have to become secure. I will employ the means, actions, and I will become secure. And this goes on and on. This is called process of samsara. So what is nityam or an eternal thing cannot be a product of change, karma, and it should already be existent, and it should not be separate, it should not be produced. Action produces. Well, and that what is produced will be time bound, because right now it is not there. So definitely what I am interested is a nitya vastu. Nitya vastu means it should be existent, and it should not be separate from me either. It is separate from me, then again process of becoming to acquire it. Could you follow? And therefore basically that nitya vastu must be my nature. It is existent at all the time, and therefore no limitation in terms of time, no limitation in terms of place, no limitation in terms of object, and therefore it must be my own nature. Then it has got to be me, and definitely if it is myself, then it is then how do I don't know it? Well, that's a matter of knowing, and so this much viveka one should have in life. To get a vyavasayatmika buddhi, one should have this purushartha viveka. What is nitya vastu? Moksha is a nitya vastu, and that is nothing but a freedom from insecurity, freedom from not happy self, or limitlessness. Well, that must be my own nature. Being limitless, it covers me too, and it is right now there. And therefore, if it is right now there, I need not produce through actions. What is produced through action is karma phala. Well, it is time bound, it will come in future. And what is existent, right? Nitya vastu is which is existent. Nitya vastu in terms of time, even what was in the past, what is in the present, what will be in the future, that is nitya vastu. And so this all understanding reveals that basically it must be my own nature. If I want to become free from the process of becoming, and I want a nitya vastu, it must be me alone. And that is how basically, so if still I don't feel, I cannot appreciate it, then I am separate from that nitya vastu by ignorance. That's for sure. So to dispel ignorance, I should know. That's all. So moksha or a nitya vastu or a freedom, etc. Freedom from insecurity, etc. Freedom from not being happy, etc. Well, that is my own nature, but I don't know. And that separation is in terms of ignorance, and knowledge is a solution. Well, these things, if one is clear about, then you have a vyavasayatmika buddhi. That is what Bhagavan said, iha. Iha means asmin vishay, moksha vishay. With respect to this moksha, one has this clarity that there are no four purusharthas, there is only one purushartha, that's first thing, and not for me, because I am discerning that way, and therefore for others there are four purusharthas, or for so many people there are artha kama purushartha. For me it is moksha purushartha. No. It's not so. Everyone is interested in moksha purushartha only. And well, but I have discerned it, that basically moksha is a purushartha, and well, basically moksha means which is nityam, freedom from insecurity, etc. And well, it must be my nature, being limitless, etc. And if I don't know it, I have to know it, because there is ignorance involved. So this all clarity with respect to moksha. Iha means asmin vishay, moksha vishay, eka, it's one. Really it is one. For everyone, this is the only thing one wants, and knowledge alone is a solution. But at least for me, now earlier I was having several purusharthas. For me now it becomes one. And if there are 100 seekers, and all of them are very clear about, well, what they want in life. All of them are committed to this, to the pursuit of this knowledge. Then all these minds have a one goal. That's what Bhagavan saying, Eka Buddhi. Also, even there are hundreds of seekers, like all of us. We are all seekers. But if we have a clarity in all of our mind, we have a clarity regarding this Purushartha, that moksha is a Purushartha, knowledge is a means, etc. Well, definitely then it is Eka Buddhi. Even though there are several Buddhis look like, several minds. But if we have the clarity, we call it Moksha Vishaya Eka Buddhi. And that is Vyavasayatmika, we have a clarity. So, and well, of course, Shraddha, of course, is common to all of them, definitely. Because we can discern all these kind of things through Shastra. No one can stumble upon one day that, oh, moksha is a Purushartha and that is nothing but the nature of oneself, and therefore I should know myself. There is an issue of a self-ignorance. No one can come across, just by independently. One will have a through, one can know through even some book, some satsanga or anything. But some friend tells you any kind of a thing. But ultimately one, directly or indirectly, one will come to know all these things through Shastra. That's for sure. And if you have a Shraddha, then you will also gain that clarity. Then only in the preparation of mind there are differences. Yeah, that's for true. So even when you gain a clarity that, okay, moksha alone is a goal of life and that is one's nature, and knowledge alone is a solution, that's a means, and therefore, that is correct. But afterwards, one has to prepare one's mind. In that, there are differences will be there. Even though we have hundreds are there, even though we have the Eka Buddhi so far as means and end is concerned, we have a clarity. But preparations of mind would be different in different people. And once the mind is prepared, and we are seeing that also, how to prepare a mind, etc. And that is Karma Yoga. We are discussing that thing. Then the preparation would be definitely different. If this is not clear, my God, then it will be Bahushakha Anantasya Buddhaya. Now here Buddhaya means not clear understanding. Here Buddhaya means notions. Then one has several notions. Regarding the goals in life. One has several goals, several ends also. If that clarity is not there, if you miss that moksha is a goal and knowledge is a solution for that, knowledge is a means for that, and then definitely one ends up in so many goals and so many means. Everything will seem to be all right, and you will find that. I'm not telling you to judge other people, but now you yourself will be able to understand. When you talk to so many people, then you definitely can understand that what kind of a confusion the people have. You can definitely understand that. Everything will seem to be all right for such people, and everything will seem to be the important. Means there will be confusion regarding priorities. And if everything seems to be attractive as everything else, then everything will have uppermost place in the list of items to be fulfilled. And then we say this person has no Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, he has Avyavasayatmika Buddhi. And that Avyavasayatmika Buddhi means no clarity. And but that Buddhi, if there is no clarity, that Buddhi, we should not translate it as an understanding. We should translate it as a notion. So there will be a notion regarding this means and end. So, and that is how even so till in our own life, let's not talk about other people, but then in our own life, till we get this kind of a clarity regarding goal and means and goal, and then we also in our own life we find everything seems to be having a right place. Everything seems to have a priority. And we get confused also, and we ask sometimes to Swamis also, what should I do? Now should I take care of my children, or should I pursue this, or should I do this? My daughter is not marrying, my son is not marrying. I am trying hard, but she, and in this country, you cannot force also. And therefore, Swamiji, should I pursue that he or she gets married, or should I pursue knowledge? People ask questions, and they are very genuinely asking these questions. But what I am saying is, moksha and other things have equal priority. That's a problem. That's a problem. So, anyway, so whether it is with reference to, Karma Yoga or a Jnanam, the focus is same, because it is ultimately the knowledge, and knowledge cannot differ. Knowledge is always centered on the object, and it is as true as the object. See, action is always centered on the subject, Purusha Tantra, and knowledge is always centered on the object. That's the difference between karma and jnana. Action and knowledge has this difference. Action is always centered on the subject, whether to do it differently or not, how to do, etc. Everything. What to do, not what, how to do, when to do, everything. How much to do, so many things. So karma is basically Purusha Tantra, because freedom. But knowledge is not Purusha Tantra. Knowledge does not depend upon the subject. Knowledge is always as true as the object. And therefore, even if I feel that this object should be a Alfonso mango from India, it will not turn to be Alfonso mango. So if all of you are seeing this as a clip and I say this is Alfonso, then you think Swami has some problem today. So Swami, correct your vision, or if your vision is okay, you go to psychiatrist, correct your mind. So knowledge will be as true as the object. This is a difference. And action is always centered on the subject. And therefore, knowledge cannot differ regardless of whether it is my knowledge or your knowledge. Why? Because Bhagavan is telling Eka Buddhi. So this understanding is Eka. Thousands of people are there, and there are some people who are in the path of Karma Yoga. We have discussed, you know very well. Or some are sannyasis. Only two lifestyles are there for gaining knowledge, right? And why to gain knowledge? For moksha. So that clarity is there. Both the people are there. And one is definitely, taking resort to karma with a certain attitude so that he can prepare his mind. Well, that's Karma Yoga one follows, and he also, of course, he has to know the self, and that person and the other person who is a sannyasi, he is also pursuing knowledge. That knowledge has no difference. Lifestyle is even though different, but knowledge is no difference. Therefore, Eka Buddhi. So, Moksha Vishaya Eka Buddhi. Once there is a clarity, definitely it is Eka. If there is no clarity, well, it's a different thing. Then we cannot call Eka. This person and one who definitely, the person who takes Karma Yoga in life as a discipline, he has a clarity. He has a clarity regarding moksha. Otherwise, why should I do Karma Yoga? Why a particular attitude is required behind the action? Why? Because he knows for sure that I have to prepare my mind for knowledge. Why? But why knowledge? Moksha is a goal. But for moksha, why knowledge is required? That's how the moksha is achieved, because moksha is something nitya-vastu. Moksha is nitya-vastu, and nitya-vastu means it is right now there. It is right now there at this moment, at this place, and in all the situation also it should be there. And therefore, basically, moksha is something, it is not, it cannot be gained by through process of becoming, and therefore karma cannot help, etc., etc. And therefore he knows it must be my nature. And so this is how and therefore, so one has to know the self. But then the requirement is there, that one's mind should be free from raga, dvesha, etc. Okay, and what are the means? What is the discipline? Karma Yoga is a discipline. So with all the clarity, the Karma Yogi also does the karma. And therefore, he has a clear understanding. Like the sannyasi who is also pursuing knowledge, Shravana, Mananam, etc. is doing, he also is clear. And therefore, a Karma Yogi also does not do karma for the sake of karma or karma phala, because he is not interested in performing karma in that way. Because through karma he is going to gain some objects of security or pleasure as such. He is not interested. He knows that they are not real Purushartha at all. The Purushartha is moksha at all. This is what has been told even in Mundaka Upanishad very beautifully. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirveda mayat. Pariksha lokan. So one should examine, the lokan. Loka means lokyate iti lokaha. One should examine one's own life, in which there are so many experiences in which I have gained several things, and yet I am the same person, as I was before. Same insecure person, same unhappy person, same complaining person, same person with all the limitations. And therefore, as though this karma and karma phala in my life in 30-40 years has not added anything. This is called pariksha. This is examination. Has to be done. Then definitely, karma chitan brahmano nirveda mayat. Karma chitan means gain through karma. Whatever is gained through karma, he gets nirveda, he gets dispassion. So this is a born of definitely viveka, etc. So this person, karma yogi, also is not doing action for the sake of karma or even karma phala. Well, he is doing for the sake of, he is doing action with a certain attitude, and therefore then only it becomes karma yoga. And well, that is so that he can gain a grace of Ishvara. Because there is a prayer. He says Ishvararpana buddhi alone is a karma yoga, and therefore he has a clear understanding. And sannyasi also has a clear understanding. And so both are seekers, both are mumukshu, who both have a desire for moksha, and and therefore both have eka buddhi. There is a clarity in a well ascertained understanding between, even though minds are two or minds are many, but there is clear understanding. Anyway, now this is regarding the first line. Now second line, we have to little further do some analysis in that. So basically, when person does a karma, now forget about the karma yoga and etc. Person is doing karma is always he has certain ends in view, and these ends are, Bhagavan says, bahushakha. Bahushakha means numerous, many branches. Shakha means a branch. Bahushakha means there are many branches, in the sense that one goes in his or her own way. Like take a security now. And now moksha, of course, is not there. And person, even though he is seeking moksha, but he doesn't know. And so he is seeking the varieties of the objects of security. In order to become ultimately, you and me know now that I am not interested in objects of security. I am interested in getting freedom from the sense of insecurity centered on the self. Well, but he doesn't know. And therefore he is in a process of gaining so many objects of security. Now there are several sources of security, so-called. It doesn't provide, but that is what the understanding of the people is. And it's a notion basically. First is, you see that, our money. Money is considered the biggest source of security. Then, let's first describe in terms of ends, artha. So money also is a source of security, relationship is a source of security, knowledge also is a source of security, house is a source of security, and influence is a source of security, name, fame also is a source of security. All this. So I want to become secure. I have a sense of insecurity. I want to get rid of it. I want a freedom from it. And so I acquire, if I don't have this clarity, moksha and is the goal, etc. If that clarity is not there, I will definitely go after to the various sources of security. Many ends, right? Many ends. Money is an end, and then house is an end, and relationship also is an end. I mean, all arthas, different sources of artha, are different sources of each security. And therefore, one is behind money. One is behind relationship. One is behind power. If you have a, I mean, forget about you, because you will take that. But Swami is telling me. I am just saying for the sake of addressing. No. But anyway, let's say some person has a lot of money. and still he knows that he is not secure. It's very, very, very certain. In fact, he's become more insecure. More money, he feels more insecure. In fact, not only he worries about his family also. Anybody goes out, he has a tremendous worry, starting from abduction to whatnot, any kind of kidnapping, and what kind of things are happening in the world we know very well. Anyway, and if such a fear also is not there, he has a worry for the security of the wealth itself. Wealth should provide security to this person, because he is after that, and he considers also as a source of security. But now he worries about the security of the money itself, where to keep, and so that it should not be in the eye of income tax department and thieves and this and that. Tremendous. Anyway, what I am saying is one source of security called money. Other source is this house, relationship, name, fame, knowledge. All these are considered source of security, and maybe many other also, power also. Now, so many people, so in the world, so many people are there. In order to acquire security, people choose various means, right? Definitely, one is behind money, one is behind power, one is behind acquiring good house, one is working constantly to get to have a good relationship with the people. Manipulating the world in terms of getting good relationship, or in terms of getting name, fame. So several different people employ different means for gaining so-called different sources of security. That's called Bahushakha. Many branches are there. In order to gain one goal called Artha as such, but Artha is looked upon, security is looked into money or in other things, as I told you, and definitely you have to employ different means. In order to gain power, you should employ different means. In order to gain wealth, money, etc., you have to employ different means. Anyway, so this is called Bahushakha. Then within one end also, like gaining money, let's say one end, in that also there are several ways how to get money. Through business, through this or through that. So many ways are there. Or even through non-ethical life, because it becomes easier to gain. So several ways even to gain money. One end, several ways. That's called Anantaha. This is called Anantaha. Many ways to gain wealth, or many ways to gain the source of security. Many branches are there, because somebody looks upon wealth as a security, somebody looks power as a security, then definitely different means are there. So that is called Bahushakha. When many ends are there, right, in terms of even security also, many ends are there, many things are looked upon as a security, then you have to employ different means. That's called Bahushakha. And within one source of security also called wealth, you have thousands of ways to gain even one source of security called wealth, and that's called Anantaha. So this is how we have to understand, and there is endless. It is endless till the end of the life. It's endless. Anyway, so this is how Bhagavan says, if you miss that really you are seeking with the Purushartha, Viveka is not there, and you consider gaining security as a goal rather than getting freedom from the sense of insecurity centered on the self, well, compared to that, I want freedom actually from the insecurity, not the gaining security. If that you miss, well, then definitely moksha is on the side. You don't know even that I am seeking freedom. I want to become free from the very seeking itself, or seeking freedom from the insecurity, etc. Also you don't know, and so then you will be behind so-called sources of security. Even knowledge also is a source of security. Even you are working in some company, and you find that if you don't acquire certain skills and certain knowledge, you will be shown as pink slip, and so you will feel insecure. Therefore, you acquire new skills and then new knowledge, refreshing courses, all that. So knowledge also can be a source of security. Anyway, there are various name, fame, everything is there, and power also is there. So, and then suppose a power as a source of security, thousand ways to acquire power. You know very well, more than me. You are reading newspapers. Thousand ways of acquiring power. So that's called ananta. Bahushakha, sources of security are also many. Bahushakha. And well, even within a given end also, within a so-called security, source of security also, called power, there are thousand ways of gaining power. So that is called ananta. This is how we have to look into the same way. Pleasures also. Pleasure also is same way. Kama also is like that. Some people look upon the sources of pleasure different. We feel always a sensuous pleasure. No. Many people are not interested in sensuous pleasure. Really. They want aesthetic pleasures. This is when they consider this, through senses you gratify the senses and you get some pleasure. Well, they say that is very gross. We are not interested. A person working in a laboratory and and he's in a process of getting a vaccine for, let's say, for this COVID, and he find a particular antibody. He's analyzing several antibodies and which will work against this particular virus, and he finds a particular antibody is working very well, promising result. You see him, he forgets time. You say you eat this, you sit here, you do this, you chat with us, nothing. He is not interested in anything. He may not be knowing even whether what he eats, or he may be eating or not itself is a question. He is not interested in anything. His whole source of joy is coming from that acquiring knowledge, etc. Or solving the puzzle, solving the challenge. So people have aesthetic pleasure. Some painter is there, stand on the hillock and starts painting the colors of the sunrise in the sky. Or take just a look at the bird and just start painting. And he forgets everything. So-called even our pleasure, different pleasures what we have through senses. He's in different world. People, poets, so many people, they are not behind the pleasures of senses, really speaking. So those are aesthetic pleasures. But still, so pleasure as such the sources are bahushakha, many sources of pleasure. In that also a given source of pleasure. Music, let's say. Music, forever. If I don't have aesthetic pleasure, I will talk about the sense pleasure. Like music, a sense pleasure. Several types of music and different types of musics, and to acquire also there are so many ways and endless. And so far as taste is concerned, you know more than me. Every other day you find so many dishes are coming out. And several ways of eating also. Ways of eating to get the pleasure and whatnot. Eating in home is one thing. Sitting in a backyard and eating also is one thing. And eating with the friends at a particular destination is also another joy. So that is even a given thing also, even given pleasure called taste, etc. Object of taste. 1,000 ways. That's called ananta. And then you can understand now. This samsara you can understand. It is all person is lost. Person is lost. If he miss this, that basically I just want a freedom in my life, and that's my nature, and I am not knowing this my nature, that it is free. It is timeless, and therefore no question of insecurity. And it is happiness which has really been expressed in the deep sleep or in a moment of joy. No object is called happiness. Then from where this happiness comes, because centered on the self, the limitations are dropped, then I feel happy, and therefore basically I am happiness. It's my nature. I have to discover it. But then how come I don't know? That's the problem. So knowledge is the solution. Due to self-ignorance, you consider yourself as a not happy being. So this is how, when one discern this way and have a clarity, then he is free from the whole samsara of becoming. All actions and becoming and becoming and becoming. Arthakama are definitely gained through karma only. Because you don't have, and the only way to gain Arthakama, objects of happiness or security, is karma. Even dharma also is basically punya karma. And therefore, well, then it is just a process of becoming, and you will never reach a destination. So this is Bahushakaha, Anantaha, and Avyavasayina Buddhayaha. Well, who has not had clarity regarding means and end, they have notions, and those notions are limitless and numerous. Bahushaka means numerous, and limitless means in terms of number. Well, they are Anantaha, many and limitless. So this is how how the verse is. Still few things I have to discuss, and that we'll see tomorrow. Then we'll go to next verse. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.